Let's read for 24 hours. Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, don't mind the hair, it's still damp, I just got out of the shower, but welcome to my channel. Hi, welcome to the very first reading vlog of the new year. This is so exciting. I am very excited to be here, and I thought what better way to start my reading vlogs in this year than to start with the monumental challenge that I love to do at the sake of my sanity, the 24-hour reading challenge. Now, before I get into details, I do want to preface and say that last night I fell asleep with the full intention of doing this 24 hours straight for the very first time in my entire YouTube career. I wanted to wake up early, start reading, and end up going full into the next day. Just do a full straight 24 hours, all-nighter. My plan was to wake up at around 7:30, and so I would wake up at 7:30 and then go until 7:30 next morning, and then I'd fall asleep. Turns out, guess what time I woke up this morning? Yeah, 9 a.m. That's not 7:30, and I'm not doing a 9 to 9. So we're just gonna do this the same exact way we've always done these. I'm going to be pausing when I eat, or whenever I'm not actively reading, I'm going to be pausing. This video idea came about because I was looking at my TBR cart, I was looking at my January TBR, and I wanted to pick up so many books at the same time, and I just was overthinking what book to take next. And I don't know if any of you guys do that, but I do that so often, where it's like I look at a book, then I'm like, wait, I want to read this other one. What if I read that one first? But then I want to read the other one, and like I just never finalize anything. So I thought might as well just stick everything in a 24-hour gap and read everything I want and mood read in the next 24 hours. So my goal is that I want to get as much time done as possible today and then leave very little for tomorrow. So right now it is a little after noon, it is noon, and I just want to get like 12 hours down today. That being said, I was in the middle of reading a novel love story. As you guys saw in the beginning of this video, I was already halfway through because I originally wanted to start filming this video yesterday, but I kept messing up. And I just thought, you know what, whatever, I'll just start tomorrow in the middle of the book. It won't make a difference. I was on page 160 when I started this morning, and I got to page 264. So I read about 100 pages, and my timer is now down 2 hours. So I have about 22 hours left, which means to reach my 12-hour goal, I just have to read 10 hours. That being said, let's go right into the challenge. Let me tell you guys what this book is about. So basically, Eileen, she was about to get married, but then her marriage broke off. Every year, her and her best friend Prudence meet up with their book club in this cabin in the woods, and they just get drunk, talk about books, all that fun stuff. And so this year, no one could make it because Prudence is about to get proposed to in Iceland. She's going to Iceland with her boyfriend, and Eileen is still in this state of mind where she feels like she's not moving anywhere, and she just feels stagnant in her life. Like everyone is moving forward and she has no purpose, she has nothing to do. And so she decides that she's going to take this road trip by herself. She's going to drive up to the cabin and she's going to spend that week all by herself. And so while she's driving in her beat up old car, she encounters this huge rainstorm, and turns out that she ends up veering off the road, almost hitting a guy, and ends up in this small town that she doesn't really know where she is. Has no cell service, no Wi-Fi, nothing. And then the next morning she finds out that she is now in the fictional world of her favorite book series. Like that's just a beautiful plot to me. I think I would love that. The guy that she almost runs over is Anderson, this grumpy bookstore owner that she can't place in any of the books. She's like, this is a new character. And so the author of her favorite book series had died a couple years ago, and this book series was supposed to have 5 books. The 5th book was supposed to be the wraparound book. She died before she could finish it, so no one knows the ending. So all these characters are there in their unfinished stories. Book 5 has no plot, nothing. And she's like, is this the character? Is he the main character that was supposed to be in book 5? But then where's the girl? Who, like, what is going on? So my theory is that she's basically living out the 5th book with this grumpy bookstore owner, and she's trying to help all these book characters that she knows and loves find their happy ever afters. The prose of Ashley Poston is already stunning. I loved it from The 7-Year Slip. I think she's cemented herself as one of my favorite authors now. I'm gonna stop yapping and we're gonna get right into this reading challenge so we can complete as much as we can this today. I am going to be clicking and we will continue reading. This book is so perfect for anyone whose love language is acts of service, because I'm gonna read a part for you guys. Hold on, let me go back to it. So she's over here talking about her ex and how he didn't really ever stop to look back. If she was moving around the same pace, he didn't really do anything for her, and she was kind of just in that relationship because she was in the relationship. So she's talking about Anders and all the stuff that he's done for her, and she's like, coffee and bagels in the morning, or earplugs for a clock tower, or simple faith that I could do whatever I set my mind to. It was refreshing and nice and sweet to be given something so I didn't have to want it in the first place. And then when I got here, he did something else that I don't want to say what he did because it would kind of be a spoiler. She's basically crying and she's like, why are you so thoughtful? You shouldn't be so thoughtful. I croaked because I hadn't expected this at all. I'd gone through so much of my life feeling wants and needs for other people. I didn't. It was thoughtful and I was thankful and confused. And then he goes, hey, you're allowed to be cared for too. You don't have to do everything alone. I'm not gonna lie, I love Anders. Like in the beginning, I was a little like they're not showing the couple enough, like there was not that much chemistry, but then when you get halfway through, I'm sad. I love them. I love it. I'm gonna continue reading now. I knew it. I knew it. I saw it coming from all the way here. I finished. I allowed myself some time to think. It's been like 5-10 minutes and I really debated on what I wanted to rate this book. The moment I turned the last page, I was like 5-star. I was like, this is a masterpiece. This is beautiful. But then I sat with it for a good 5 minutes and I was like, this is not a 5-star book because this doesn't measure up to all the other 5 stars that I've read. I liked it, but did I love it as much as I love The 7-Year Slip? I fear not. I have decided that I will be rating this book a 3.75. I would have given it a 4, but it also is not the same as all the other 4 stars that I've read, but then it's not where it would stand with the 3 stars. So I think it's more towards a 4-star than it is a 3-star, and so I'm going to be rating it a 3.75 or a 3.5. But that being said, first book down for this 24-hour challenge within 3 hours, which is great. I think we're doing great. We finished half a book in 3 hours, which means we have how much time? We have 20 hours. Let's say I do give or take 6 hours per book. I can finish 3 more books, so it would be 3.5 books. And usually in these 24-hour challenges, I go to 3 books anyways. This is going on the right track. So speaking of the next book, I was shifting around through my bookshelf, my TBR cart, my January TBR, and I keep eyeing one book constantly. And I think it would be great because I want something light, I want something rom-com-y, and I'm just gonna reach over and grab it. Butcher and Blackbird. Hold on, let me take this off. Why is this still here? We're good to go. Took off the little Target sticker. Anyways, this is a dark romance, but it's not just any dark romance. It is a rom-com-y dark romance. The main characters in here are serial killers, and the back says every serial killer needs a friend. Every game must have a winner. When a chance encounter sparks an unlikely bond between rival murderers Sloane and Rowan, they find something elusive, the friendship of 2 like-minded pitch black souls who just happen to enjoy killing other serial killers. So they basically collide in an annual game of blood and suffering, one that pits them against the most dangerous monsters of the country, but as their friendship develops into something more, the restless ghosts they left in their wake are only a few steps behind, ready to claim more than just their newfound love. Interesting. So it's giving Dexter meets Dexter and falls in love. This is really exciting. I had this on my bookshelf for so long, and then I put it on my January TBR. If you guys watched my TBR video, it got picked, and I'm actually really excited for this book. So I'm going to pick out my sticky tabs and we're gonna continue reading. I might shift to my little chair over there, my Sherpa reading chair that I use now, and we'll get started. Ready? So much more, I don't want to say comedic, but there is such a undertone in this book already that makes it seem like it's not dark romance, but then there's serial killers. I'm really enjoying this. I only got finished with the first chapter, but this is really fun. Like I like this. I like the vibes of this. And also Rowan is low-key comedic. Like he's starstruck. I'm gonna continue reading. I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts. I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of them. Wait, I'm kind of giggling. So Rowan is talking to his brothers about Sloane, basically. So the whole thing, they're about to play a game that they created, and it's like, I don't really know what the prize is, but it's like the first one to kill the target wins. And so Rowan's brother is the one who sent like the target's location to them, and now Rowan is about to leave for the trip to go to the target, and he's talking to his brothers. Brother had said Sloane's name, and Rowan goes, keep her fucking name out of your mouth. And so His brother goes, let's say you manage to claw your way into the friend zone and then by some fucking miracle you get yourself beyond that and into the spider lady's good graces without losing an eye. How would you like me to refer to her? Ron goes, I don't know, asshole. How about queen or your highness? Fuck off. And so his brother goes, fuck off it is. Pleased to meet you, fuck off. I'm your brother-in-law. Welcome to the family, fuck off. Why is this actually kind of comical? And I'm like eating it up. I'm on page 60 or like 61. Why do I kind of love them? I love this book way more than I thought I was going to. Like, why am I eating this up? I fear I'm having the time of my life reading this book. I know I haven't updated much because I was just downstairs. I was caught up in like other chores and stuff that I needed to do, but my goodness, I am loving this story. Genuinely, I didn't expect to actually like sit here and like laugh about certain things, but some of these scenes are just so good. Like their banter is amazing. Like I think I showed you guys that one part where she's like, so basically what they do is they find other serial killers and bad people and they go to murder them, and they have this game that they play every year, and they get together one day every year, and whoever gets to the guy first is the one who gets to kill them. So one of the years, I think it's like the third year that they go, it's this cannibal guy, and he has this servant she thinks had a lobotomy. She's trying to tell Rowan that this guy had a lobotomy because Rowan follows her there to win their game, and she's like, lobotomy, and he's drunk and drugged, and he goes, you love me? And then, so I was reading the trigger warnings and I was like, what do you mean accidental cannibalism? She goes, you ate a fucking person. And then the whole cookies and cream scene, I'm gonna wipe that from my brain because unironically, cookies and cream is my favorite ice cream flavor. So thank you, Bryn Weaver, for that visual. But I'm at this part where they're finally getting together and I'm on page 221. I've never had a 24-hour challenge go this well, and I think it's solely because of the book choice. Also, I accidentally kept my timer on while I was doing some chores, so I have 14 hours left on my thing, but I feel like it's just like an hour extra that I got, and I think within an hour I'd be able to finish this book. So what I want to do is sit here for maybe 3 more hours. I could stay up till 3 a.m. and then fall asleep and then finish the rest tomorrow. So I'll do 3 more hours, so it goes down to 11 hours and we can see how it goes from there. So I think after this I do want to get into this genre more, and I know there's Lights Out and I have that on my TBR somewhere. I don't have the book, but I may go and buy the book. Who knows? I like this genre. This is fun. I low-key regret not listening to the audiobook, but I will be reading this entire series. So I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna continue reading. I'll pop in if I have any updates or if there's anything I need to say to you guys. Until then, I'm turning my timer right back on and I'm sitting here devouring this book, finishing this book, hopefully within an hour. I'm gonna continue reading. With 13 hours and 16 minutes on the clock, I finished Butcher and Blackbird. I'm obsessed, you guys. I did not think that this would be as fun to read as it was. I knew I would enjoy it because I like dark romance as a genre in general, but like this was so fun. Usually a lot of dark romance takes me like some time to read just because it just feels different than reading like a fast-paced romance. Everything's in a dark romance. I feel like things are so much slower and like the plot takes a while to pick up. Sometimes the spice overshadows the plot, but like this was beautiful. The spice also like didn't come until 75% into the book, which I kind of really appreciated because it gave time to see how Rowan and Sloane would become friends. Really funny observation I made, his name is Rowan Kane, like the Dreamland Billionaire series. This is genuinely a book couple that after I finish the book, I know they're gonna stay together. Love this book. I think I'm going to rate this a 4.5. Like I'm very strongly sitting here saying yes, this is a 4.5. This was fast-paced, this was fun. There were so many like elements to this, like the plot points, the way everything rolled around. Chef's kiss. I like that there was no real third act breakup because I feel like even in dark romance they try to do that and then sometimes it just seems so like random. Let's go back to this video. I have 13 hours and 16 minutes left and it's 2 a.m. I'm not that sleepy. I think I can push it out for another hour. So I'm going to read something on my Kindle. I don't know what yet. Let me scroll around my Kindle library and then I'll let you guys know. Okay, so as I'm scrolling, I already know that I don't want to read another dark romance, although there is H.D. Carlton's new book Phantom that just came out, which is about Gigi, who's Adeline's grandmother from the Cat Mouse duet. But I kind of am not in the mood of a dark romance, although this morning I would have read it if I hadn't read Butcher and Blackbird. I want to read something fast-paced, something romancy. I do have an arc for K.A. Walter's new book. This is the author of The Summer of Broken Rules, and I gave The Summer of Broken Rules 5 stars just because I loved it so much. So maybe I might just start reading the arc of While We Were Young. I had started it. I got like 4% into the book, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to start reading While We're Young by K.A. Walter. I have the arc of it, so why not? This is probably not going to take me the entire time, so I'll have to find like another book that I want to read after this one. But we'll figure that out for tomorrow. I think now I'm actually just gonna like lay down and start reading, and then just put on like a YouTube video and just enjoy my time. All right, let us turn on my timer again and we'll start reading. Hi besties, it's a new day and it's about time that this challenge steered off its path. We are in a predicament, as we always are when I'm doing some sort of reading challenge. For some reason, it's like a common theme for my channel. I'm gonna start by telling you guys the time. It is 3:16 p.m. After the time, I'm gonna tell you how much time I have left on my timer. And that is 10 hours 46 minutes, almost 11 hours. And you know what I did yesterday? Sleep. After the last time I talked to you guys, I knocked out. I was tired. I wanted to go to bed. And I woke up this morning and I still didn't turn my timer on because I just didn't feel like reading. I read like, I think an hour and a half in the morning because I had about 12 hours something left. Now we're here. I don't know what to do. This is still the book that I'm reading, While We're Young. This is a retelling of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I am a huge fan of 80s movies. I love 80s movies with all my heart, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off is such a classic tale. So at first when I started reading this arc, I was a little bit confused because there are 4 point of views, follows 4 POVs: Grace, James, Issa, and Everett. Grace and James are twins. Their parents are planning to sell the house after they get out of high school. So basically they're all in their senior year of high school, and Grace and Issa are like these model students. They don't take a day off, they don't anything, but Grace has faked sickness because she just wants a day off, and then she convinces her best friend Issa to also take the day off. Grace, Issa, and Everett were best friends. They were like a clique, and then James was always the odd one out, and he always somehow felt left out in the group, and so did Grace, but like they would never say it to each other. Issa and Everett used to date, and because of this whole thing that happened in their freshman year, now none of them are friends. Only Issa and Grace stick. Behind Issa's back, Grace and Everett have been meeting up. Turns out that they both like each other, but they won't do anything because Everett is also Issa's ex, and Issa and Grace are still best friends. All the while, they're worried about Issa feeling weird about that, but Issa is kind of in love with James, who is Grace's brother. James has put an ultimatum on Issa saying, you better tell her today or else you and I are over. And so now Grace convinces Issa and Everett to take a road trip with her, and James is still in school and he's like, what is going on? Because all 3 of them are not in school, so something's definitely wrong. So he's suspecting all these things happening, and all the while these 3 are going on a road trip. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm 24% into the book. This is an arc, but I do want to say it kind of reads very childish. The book isn't bad, like I'm enjoying it. It's nothing special though, like I'm kind of just sitting here reading it, but I am gonna finish it since it was an arc that I got. So I'm gonna try to like not pause at all, but I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna read, and then I'll check in with you guys when I get like to 50% of this book, I think. Who knew when I woke up today that I would end up having a mental crisis? But here we are. And because of this crisis, I was unable to read much throughout the day because obviously my brain just was not functioning the way that I wanted it to. But I did end up getting quite a bit into While We're Young. I am 70% into the book, which is kind of insane given the fact that I don't really like this book much. It's just too many POVs, too many things that could just be solved by speaking to one another. These characters are supposed to be like 17, almost 18. They seem very childish to me. And then also this book breaks the fourth wall a lot, and I don't know if that's just because it's an arc or what it is. I'm just not vibing with it. Like, I'm not connecting with the characters. I don't really care about the characters, and there's really not any build up to any of the relationships that are going on. It's just kind of like it's told to you. 7.5 hours left on my clock, so I think I'm gonna spend the next hour and a half, because this is an hour 35 minutes left in the book, so I might spend the next hour and a half reading this, and so that'll get this to 6 hours, and then I can pick up another ebook maybe, because those are fast, and I can probably finish this challenge tomorrow afternoon. Alright besties, I have finished my arc for While We're Young by K.A. Walter. 5 hours 56 minutes left on the clock, so basically 6 hours. My take on this book, I don't know how I feel about it. There were a lot of things that I did not like about it. I couldn't connect with the characters. I didn't really care about the characters. I didn't see the chemistry between the couples that were supposed to be there. And then I feel like the whole book was just full of so much miscommunication, and I feel like we lost the plot so many times, and I so desperately wanted it to be good because I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but like I think it tried too hard to be a retelling that it kind of just fell flat. I don't know, I'm like teetering between like a 2.5 or a 3. But yeah, so I finished that book. I don't know what I want to read next. What if I read like a thriller? Maybe I'll turn on a thriller. Those are always fast-paced and quick and fun to read. At this point, I'm gonna read as much as I can tonight. I'll pick a book tonight for sure, and then maybe I'll read like 30 minutes or something, and then finish this challenge tomorrow. Scroll through my Kindle, see what's in the Kindle library, and pick a book and then read. Good morning, besties. It's the next day. Yeah, so after yesterday, last night, I updated you guys. I fell asleep. I did pick a book though. I did decide what I wanted to read. That is The Emperor by Runix. This is the third book in the Darkverse series that I still have yet to catch up on. This is one of the series that I need to finish this year. So I thought, why not just use it for this video, because it'll just make me move forward. I also did start this book a long time ago, so I was 10% into the book. I did read a little bit yesterday, so I'm 20% into the book. On my timer, I have 5 hours 56 minutes left. This book says I have 4 hours 20 minutes in it, and so if that's the case, then maybe I'll pick up like a novella or something after this. But we are finishing this challenge today. Last night just was not my night. Explaining what this book is about, and if you haven't read the Darkverse series, it's basically a mafia romance. First two books followed Tristan and Morana. This one follows Dante and Amara, and this is basically like they knew each other since they were kids, and Dante is part of this huge big mafia family, and the present takes place after all the events of book 2, so I don't want to give any spoilers if you guys haven't read it. Basically, it's showing how they were when they were kids and met for the first time and met Tristan for the first time, and then it's giving, and so this is where we're at right now. I don't want to say what happened at the end of book 2 because it kind of gives a spoiler, and I don't want to do spoilers for this video, although I am very curious as to what is going to happen in the present day time. So I'm going to update you guys when I get like halfway to this, and then we'll talk. One thing I will say is that Runix knows how to write her men, because I thought nothing could top Tristan. I've been mistaken. I already loved Dante so much in the first 2 books, but like I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Okay, I know that the 24-hour timer finished, but I have 10 minutes left in The Emperor, and I'm literally just gonna finish and then we'll talk. You guys, I finished The Emperor and I am obsessed. This was so good. I don't know why I never finished it earlier. The ending I kind of predicted a little bit, like I kind of figured that much of a plot twist because it was kind of where they were leading anyways, so there was not much to guess, but still I think seeing the build-up, or like seeing glimpses of Dante and Amara book 1 and 2, like it just made all of it so much better. But this was so much better than I thought it was going to be. I think I'm going to be rating it a 4.5 or a 4-star. I love the book. I think it's so good, but I think at some point I kind of got tired of the spicy scenes. I know it's a dark romance, but then also seeing the way that Predator was, seeing like the first 2 books, I think this spice was so like normally put in there as opposed to like just thrown multiple times into a scene for the sake of being there. I feel like for The Emperor, I felt like a lot of the spicy scenes were kind of just there, like they weren't needed. If they didn't happen, I think I would have been fine. But other than that, I think the book was pretty good. And also I kind of didn't like the fact that he kept referring to her, like I get it was like his nickname for her where he kept calling her dirty girl, but I get very cringed out sometimes with dark romance nicknames that I just didn't like this one. So as much as I love Dante and Amara, I think I'm gonna give it a 4-star just because I'm just like that. I don't know, like I'm not gonna give it a 3-star because it's not a 3-star. I think it would have been a very, very high 4.5, but I think I just cringed a little every time he said dirty girl. But yeah, so this is gonna be a 4-star read. And with that concludes the 24-hour reading challenge. I'm actually really surprised at how it went because this would have probably finished yesterday. I just ended up having like just a mental health night and I just couldn't get myself to read. So I think all is forgiven because we still made it in our timeline. Here we are, we have successfully completed the 24-hour challenge in the few amount of days that I've allotted. I do want to try to do one of the overnight ones, but I gotta figure out when I can do it and when would be like a likely time for me to sit down and do one of those. I had fun filming this. We ended up getting some pretty decent books. We got how many books? We got 4 books. It's the middle of January and I've read 7 books now already, which is crazy. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about this year. I'm feeling good about this month. We did have a little iffy moment in this 24-hour challenge. I had a 2-star read and I had a 3-star read, or 3.5-ish star read, but then we also had this 4-star read and I had a 4.5, which is great. We are off to a great start of the year and I'm manifesting these vibes for every single one of you watching this video. I think that concludes this video. I think that is it for today. That is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed sticking with me for the 24 hours and I hope you enjoyed seeing my moods throughout these books, because I never know how I look on camera until I go into editing, and sometimes I sit here and I cringe while editing, but then it is what it is. We vibe. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It is nighttime. I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna put on a show and I'm gonna relax and take a break from reading because I feel like I've just overdone the reading in my head. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!